Okay, so it's been a really long time since I've done a Lolita vlog. So I woke up with, actually, I went to bed and woke up with this particular topic floating around in my head. And I was like, maybe now is the time to talk about it. So, um, there is a particular Japanese brand, Royal Princess Alice, and they come out with a lot of the Wa Lolita styles. So, and I often wonder why people don't take more of a gamble on the Wa Lolita style. The Wa Lolita, if you are totally uninitiated in Lolita and you're like, the hell is she talking about now? It's basically like the traditional yukata with Japanese yukata, which is kind of like a kimono, but not like a kimono. I admit, I do not know the difference between a yukata and a kimono. And yes, that makes me ignorant. And yes, I should have looked that up before doing this, but I just jumped in. But the yukata is like the traditional Japanese style of dress, and it's sort of similar to a kimono. I think kimono has multiple layers. A yukata only has one or two layers. I am not sure. Please look it up and correct me. And also the Key Lolita, I think that's how you say it. It's QI. It's for the more traditional Chinese dress. So that's like the Wa Lolita look. So there's basically two camps of why people in the West do not delve into that pool. One is the cultural appropriation tag, which no one ever wants to be tagged as being, appropriating somebody else's culture. And the other reason is it's considered Ida. So I wanted to dive into, is it Ida or is it cultural appropriation? Because no one knows. And I'm just going to give you my little spin on the situation. So originally, I wasn't going to wear this particular dress today. I had it in my head that I was going to actually wear the one Wa Lolita outfit that I have. Yes, I do have one. So let's start back from when I got into the Wa Lolita. I had dipped my toe a little bit into the Wa Lolita fashion. Now, as stated, I've been into Lolita since 2002. Around 2006, 2007, the community was really gaining a lot of traction in the West. Brands still weren't, I think brands were either just starting to come out and be available more readily on the European US market, on the Western market, but they were just it was just in its inception. So basically, and Taobao wasn't a thing. Actually, Taobao in those days was literal knockoffs of other people's stuff. You had, I think back then you had Kids Yo-Yo, which they did come up with some original things, but it was mostly copies of other brands. You had, I think, Dear Celine was just starting. You had a couple of Taobao brands that were just in their very infancy of their beginnings. So basically, unless you went to Japan and knew what you were doing, or you knew somebody that was going to Japan and kind of knew what they were doing, or you took what I call was the gamble, which was going on eBay. So I went on eBay and purchased this yukata, and it was, I do not have pictures of it, and I know I have that Wa Lolita outfit here. I have no idea where the fuck it is. I looked high and low in my closet for it. Could not find it. It was gone. I don't know what the fuck happened. I found the accessories, but I could not find the outfit. And I was going to wear it and be like, hey, this is what's happening. But it's gone. I don't know where the fuck it went to. It must have crawled out of my closet one day. It was like, I can't live anymore. But it wasn't a bad outfit. It was actually kind of nice. It came in two parts, the main yukata part and then like an underdress. The underdress, let me just say, was a fucking nightmare. I don't know what horrifying polyester that woman made out of that dress. It was ugly, it was egregious, and I threw that shit out the moment it came in the mail. I looked at that and was like, fuck that, and threw it out. But I kept the yukata because it was cute. I never wore it anywhere because it had like square cutouts and in the skirt, and I just could not. I never could find a skirt appropriate enough to match the red that was in the sleeves, or that would look good underneath that dress. So I never wore it, so I never had pictures of it. It's just in the annals of my Lolita history, or the annals of my Lolita history. No, the annals. I know it's the annals. So yeah, that was what people used to have to do back in the day if they wanted to dip their toe in the Lolita fashion, especially the Wa Lolita stuff was really starting. It was like people found it charming and wanted to wear it, but it had a stigma attached to it of being tacky, being ugly. So fast forward to today, when I was thinking about this, I'm like, well, and this is from 3 years ago. This is on Reddit, and somebody asked the question: is Wa Lolita considered Ida? And basically, the answer to her question was, it's hard to find people that are really able to pull that off, to pull that style off. I know a lot of people have been wanting to try that style, but they're afraid of getting tagged as being an Ida. And I told you all multiple damn times now that I can't stand that term Ida, because everybody has to start some fucking place. I am sorry that it ruins your damn aesthetic, your poor sensitive little eyes, that people aren't busting out their first chord isn't a $700 fucking angelic pretty full outfit, but everybody's got to fucking start somewhere. Everybody's going to make mistakes. And I'm sorry, as humans, you're allowed to make a goddamn mistake or two or three or four till you can pull your shit together. But that's neither here nor there. So, but people get so like, oh, it's so ugly. It's so Ida. It's like, you're wearing cat ears with the, because it was kind of, people were kind of all over the place with the Wa Lolita style. It was like, sometimes it would be good, sometimes it would be questionable, sometimes it would be like, okay. But I think it caught this stigma of just being, what beginners wore. And they always paired it with the wrong thing, like, i.e. cat ears, or like super tall crazy platform shoes, or just paired it with something that it was just kind of like, interesting choice there. So, and then enter into the realm of cultural appropriation. I remember reading a little bit ago, I do not remember what forum this was, where somebody was like, I want to try the Wa Lolita style, but I don't want to be accused of cultural appropriation. And I always say cultural appropriation goes to intent. Whatever your intention is, that either makes it or breaks it. So if you're going into a situation where you're like gonna do something ignorant, like wear a yukata and then slant your eyes backwards and make derogatory sounds, yeah, you're falling into that. The intent there was to just be an asshole. So that's the cultural appropriation goes to intent. If you're wearing this yukata or yukata Lolita or Wa Lolita because you like the style and you like the fashion, go for it. You don't have any malice or ill will toward an entire culture. That is, in my mind, the difference between cultural appropriation and, being an asshole, basically, or not. The difference between the asshole cultural appropriation move or just somebody just wearing an outfit. It's really hard to kind of make those distinctions, and it's especially hard for a fashion that's already grossly misunderstood. So, I mean, as much as we know we look fabulous, and I don't want to say as much as we think we look fabulous, as much as we know we look great in our Lolita, we are very much grossly misunderstood as a community. At best, people just think we're cosplaying as Little Bo Peep. I don't see a fucking sheep within 40 miles of me, but what the fuck ever. At worst, we're attention-seeking whores trying to get the attention of men to buy us Brando. I don't know where the fuck they got that idea, or we're age playing and there's been enough chat about daddy daughter nonsense that I'm not touching it with a 10-foot fucking pole. So we're already grossly misunderstood, and I want to have that whole we should be supportive of each other's fashion choices, because you should give people the chance to branch out. Not everybody is going to jive with sweet Lolita or classic Lolita or what the hell ever. Everybody has what they want to wear as a fashion choice. You shouldn't discount somebody's fashion choice or what they like because it's not what you like. You should support them. And in that same token, if you're going to undertake this as a fashion choice, you kind of got to tread a little bit lightly. I haven't bought a Wa Lolita outfit since that red and black ensemble that I never ever fucking wore anywhere. I haven't bought anything since then. Since then, my aesthetic has kind of changed. I am strictly a classic Lolita. I do like prints, but I don't like the super duper sweet. I don't like a lot of strawberries and like I like a lot of the prints, and that took years for me to get into prints. But I like the prints. I like the I like solid colors like this. That's like a black and white situation. I like, actually, honestly, the aesthetic that I want to try to break out of the mold of being like a classic Lolita, I really want to try the OG style because it's completely different than what I'm normally in, and I just want to try it to see how I look in it. Story for another time. But with Wa Lolita, I would say if you're going to undertake that, I would say go to Royal Princess Alice, because they do some really, their prints are kind of out there. The only print they ever had that I was truly in love with, and I think a lot of people were in love with, and that's a hard damn dress to find, is the last year's, I forget what that was called, but it was like Devil's Night something. It was Devil's something, and it was mad fucking cute. It had those horses. It was mad fucking cute. I wanted that outfit so bad. That motherfucker sold out real quick. But never got it. And somebody I knew who watches this channel was supposed to get it, but she was like, I couldn't get it. It sold out. I'm like, I'm not surprised. That was the cutest one they had. But they do some interesting stuff at Royal Princess Alice. But a lot of their stuff is the Wa Lolita style. I would say if you want to branch out with that. You can also try the Q Lolita. I am so sorry that I am a schlub. I will get my shit together at some point. But this is the Q Lolita. These are pictures that I posted, or saw, not posted, that I saw. Hang on, let me see if I can turn the brightness down. But, not that far down, because, damn. But, yeah, that's the Q Lolita. So, and nowadays you have a lot more options than just taking a gamble on eBay. You have a lot more options open to you. And if that's a style that you want to embrace, go for it. But study up on it. Look at different pictures of different brands. A lot of the Chinese brands have come out with a lot of the Q Lolita. And I would love to see more of that sort of thing. A little more representation style-wise. And because everybody just gets stuck into the camp of sweet Lolita, classic Lolita, sweet Lolita, classic Lolita, OTT Lolita, OTT sweet Lolita, OTT classic Lolita. It's just like, what happened to Pirate Lolita? Like, I think they're trying to bring that back. And I said I would only do Pirate Lolita if I could actually have a peg leg. That would be the only way I would do Pirate Lolita. I want an actual peg leg to do it. That's another story though. But what happened to that? Sailor Lolita was going around that 06 period. That's no longer a thing. I would really love to see Aristocrat make a grand return, because that's what I was supposed to turn into. They were like, at one point in the early days of Lolita, they were like, you start out a sweet, you turn into a classic, and then as you get older, you branch off into Aristocrat. But Aristocrat in and of itself was a little difficult to pull off because it straddled very tenuously the line between costume and fashion. It was a it was a hard one to it was a hard road to hoe, as they say. So, but I would like to see a little more fashion diversity instead of just your classics and your sweets, or the occasional OG tossed in there for people to like mix it up. I want to see a little more diversity fashion wise. And we don't need to be giving each other shit about what the fuck our fashion choices are. But I do recommend, if you're going to branch off into a very, very niche Lolita market, study up on it, figure out what would look good with what, pick your, choose your pieces, your OPs, your JSKs wisely, and pick, you know, what would look, I would say stick with the accessories that go with that outfit. Don't try to do your own thing. I know it's tempting, but don't try to do your own thing, because one foot wrong is going to throw the whole look, and then you're going to get that EATA tag. Or at worst, oh, you're culturally appropriating some stuff. And if somebody comes up to you and says that you're culturally appropriating somebody else's culture, just walk away from them, because they have no damn clue what they're talking about. You're not, as long as you're not doing something rude or disrespectful or fucking ignorant, it's not cultural appropriation. I still say, and I will go to my grave saying, cultural appropriation goes to intent. Whatever your intent, if your intent is to be an ass, then yeah, you just crossed the cultural appropriation line. But if you're out there and you're not making fun of somebody else's culture or whatever, you're fine. So I had a whole weird conversation about cultural appropriation with myself like a week or two ago. I was like, am I culturally appropriating like European culture? Because when I'm not being crazy and loud and obnoxious talking about Lolita horror games or stuff that scared the shit out of me on YouTube, I'm generally an opera singer. So I'm like, am I culturally appropriating European culture? Am I mocking, like, is my love of Mozart like a mockery of European culture? And I had to sit myself down and, like, it was so bad I was having like a half existential crisis. Like, what is my life about? And then my brain finally kicked in, was like, I chime. You listen to Mozart and classical music because you genuinely like singing opera and listening to Mozart and listening to classical music. Yes, you also listen to other music as well, but it's all part of who you are. I don't know how you can make fun of European culture, but that's not what you're doing. That's not what you're about. So I know cultural appropriation is no one wants to be branded as that. But I can see where people can be easily offended, especially if you're a disparaged group. But if you're not doing anything rude or ignorant, you're not appropriating somebody else's culture. Just take a style risk, know what you're getting into, stick to the accessories that go with that outfit, and I'm guaranteeing you'll be fine. And when you do take your style risk, don't be timid about it. Just come out and be like, bitch, here I am. And either you like it and you want to look at me, or you don't and you can fuck off. So, and that's just it. And I know that's not an easy way to think for a lot of people, but you can't worry about the people that don't like you. Because they're not going to like you regardless of what you do. So you can't worry about those sad assholes. You just keep it moving. So that is all I have, and I hope this made sense, and I hope I answered at least, some of why the Wa Lolita look has such a negative connotation. But hopefully this helps somebody, and hopefully this gives somebody the courage to branch out and do other things. So that's all I have, and I will see y'all probably tomorrow when I do one of them reviews. So